Lesson 1. Be flexible when it comes to your audience, but stay true to your own style. As an orator, there's nothing worse than experiencing an audience that doesn't engage with you. Grabbing everyone's attention and maintaining an engaged crowd while you communicate the purpose of your speech is what every public speaker is aiming for, but only a few manage to achieve. So what is it that makes the difference? According to Aristotle, every speech requires its own rhetorical style, meaning that you have to design it specifically for your audience. To do that, you have to choose your own method of persuasion, whether it is ethos, pathos, or logos, and explore the persuasive aspect of a circumstance. Ethos is authoritative, pathos is emotional, and logos is rational, based on an argumentative point of view. The latter is the most persuasive of them all, because it has truth and virtue at its base. Pathos is considered sneaky and deceitful, as it manipulates your audience with emotions, rather than convincing it through facts. Therefore, you should opt for using logos in your public speeches, as this method of persuasion is truthful. Therefore, it makes your audience believe in you and consider you a reliable source of information. It also works best on any type of crowd, as it is based on objective facts, rather than subjective emotions. Lesson 2. Intelligence, strong character, and goodwill are essential when it comes to making your audience trust you. Focusing on ethos and logos will make your audience perceive you as a trustworthy source of information. To do that, you have to stay true to your character and build on it during your speech. Make sure to present yourself as an experienced individual to seem reliable and professional. Therefore, you must first focus on intelligence. This quality can derive from carefully crafting your speech before you present it to the public. You do this by researching it thoroughly and learning it in case you're being asked questions. Taking care of these details will make you look professional and experienced in your field. The second thing you should look after is emotion, or pathos. The way you express yourself to the public and the feelings your audience feels are essential factors to consider. However, make sure to not overdo this part, as it can make you look like a fraud. Engage naturally with your audience and present true emotions. Lastly, you'll want to work on tailoring your speech to a specific audience. You should take into account the demographic factors, such as age, the purpose of your speech, the occasion, and any other factors that are relevant to your public speaking. For example, passionate speeches are best for young audiences, while solemn vocalization is preferred more by the elderly. Lesson 3. Create your speech based on a structure of 4 essential parts. Crafting a good speech can be a challenge. That is because as a presenter, you have to empathize with your audience at all times and keep them engaged over the course of your speech, without losing track of your ideas and overspending their precious time. So how can you conform to all these requests? Is there a formula? Fortunately, there is one. Or at least, a structure that you can follow to make your speech persuasive. You'll want to start with an introduction, something that lets your audience know what your speech is going to be about, arousing their interest in presenting your ethos, or character, at the same time. Next, you should start by presenting your narrative. Make sure to include all the important details, but keep it short and to the point. After all, you don't want to bore your audience, right? This is the part of your speech where you can make use of your pathos, and awaken certain emotions to help build your case. After the narrative, it's best to present arguments and facts that support your case. As you might have guessed, this is the part where you make use of logos, or the rational part of your speech. During this part, you want to prove the points you previously made in your narrative and make your story's veracity non-questionable. Lastly, you'll want to wrap it up with a short, but compelling conclusion. Here you should summarize the points you've made so far, and finish it up with a punchline, or an emotional bang. Aristotle himself used to end his narrative with an asyndeton, which implies omitting conjunctions. One of his conclusions sounded something like, "I've made my case, you've heard the facts, now judge." The Art of Rhetoric Review. The art of rhetoric manages to compress invaluable information under the form of simple advice that can turn anyone into a skilled public speaker. Aristotle explains the concepts of ethos, pathos and logos as methods of persuasion, and builds on the idea that character and truth are at the base of any good public speech. This historical masterpiece reveals outstanding insights on how persuading a crowd works and how you can awaken passion in people to make them follow your lead.